It is time for another Coach Confessional.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I can't start this type of segment without kind of singing. Like, it is time. I don't know why.
Well, it's maybe because you secretly are confessing that you're a singer.
Probably not. I'm not even like a closet singer.
But you're a hummer. I hear you hum.
I do hum.
You hum.
I often do hum. That is correct. Okay, let's talk a little bit about how we're doing on goals.
Okay.
I brought my book, a book that I'm reading right now. If
Yeah.
you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, you can see the book. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly recap the Coach Costa Rica trip. We took top 10 coaches to Costa Rica. It was
Looks
incredible.
so fantastic. I actually had the woman at the front desk of my gym. She said, "Why aren't you on that trip?" And I said, "Who are you? And what are you asking me this question for? I don't know her." And she goes, "I'm looking at Amanda. She's with the coaches. Aren't you a coach?" And I was laughing. I said, I'll be there soon.
I
but
love
yeah,
that.
it was hilarious.
That is
She's
so
like, "Why aren't
funny.
you there?"
You are coming with me this week,
I
meaning next week,
Yeah.
which is this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's talk about your goals. How are you doing so far this year?
Well, my goals are always evolutionary, right? And you inspired me actually when you said I'm getting 25% heavier.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times I got to go do a systems check. Am I still strong? Well, 3 reps isn't going to do it. So last week I was working with a 5-rep range on just a couple of compound lifts. And then this week I went to 7.
Great.
So I'm going to work up to 20. Hopefully I can get there by March if I don't get distracted. Yeah. But you inspired me with your 25% increase. How are you doing?
Really great. I am absolutely lifting heavier. I'm trying to simply match the pro trainer. So if Kelly picks up 20 pounders, I'm picking up 20 pounders.
Yeah.
If Haven picks up 30 pounders, I'm picking up 30 pounders. You as well. I will say I'm very tight. I need to get to the chiropractor because especially with squats, oh my gosh, we've been doing Bulgarian split squats more, and I am picking up 20, 25s, both hands. And it is just more than I was lifting last year because I was, slowly transitioning back postpartum, and I had a bit of a sensitivity, kind of like a pelvic area, abductor area sensitivity. And now it shifted to the other side too, just because I'm so tight. My psoas is super tight, everything. So I just need to get to the chiropractor, and I probably need to be doing some mobility exercises.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that we can help you there.
I'm pretty sure you already do iso stretch, and I've never once pressed play on that workout.
Well, let me tell you, Mike and I are going to be with you this week, and we'll hold you down for it.
Yes. Oh, you need to. Yeah. It's like I cannot do the heavier lifting without balancing out with some stretching and mobility.
And I love hearing you say that because that's something that people don't want to do. It's boring.
I know.
It's not fun. But what's not fun, what's even less fun is being hurt.
Exactly.
So we got to get you there, girl.
Yeah, you guys, when we're together in Costa Rica, you have to pin me down. I want to do some like booty circuits together.
yeah?
So I burned out my booty yesterday in my workout. At the very end, I put on the booty band and I just went bananas. It's like you just go until it hurts so bad. You absolutely cannot go any further and longer. We are going to be incorporating more booty in February through our total body workout.
Oh, instead of a peach, it's a heart.
Instead of a peach. Oh my God. Yeah. So on Wednesdays, we have been focused probably more so on upper body Wednesday than we have been on legs, lower body, booty. So we're just going to kind of invert that a little bit.
It.
We do some lower body work Monday, Tuesday, but now we're going to lift heavy Wednesday with lower body, booty, and Saturday.
Yeah.
Because the legs are the biggest muscle group.
Oh, yeah.
So let's really focus on it.
Absolutely.
We do back on Thursday. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
Haven's been going through like a booty clinic.
Yep.
So we're going to run a booty clinic in February as well.
Ooh, that's good.
So I'm excited about it. But my piriformis, as we're sitting here, is sore as we're talking about it.
Switch legs. Trucker.
Yeah, switch legs. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our coach retreat because it was amazing.
It looked amazing.
And talk about lifting heavy. I was there with Lauren Nattingly, who is our top coach, and holy cow, if anyone follows Lauren on Instagram and questions why she has the perfect body, work out with this woman.
Yeah.
She is grunting through every single move. She is picking up the heaviest dumbbells in the gym. She inspired me watching how she grinded through. She would pick up these 50-pound dumbbells. I'm like, geez, I'm picking up the 30 pounds for that move. I was really impressed. She's even probably an inch shorter than me.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe
yeah,
we're the
yeah.
same height, but I was like, that is awesome.
That's
just to see
impressive.
the strength. Now she has a few years on me being postpartum. I'm like, I always feel like I get weak as I'm pregnant and going through, but I'm going to be up there with Lauren
She
here
says
soon.
several years of no babies.
But yeah, she is just fantastic.
That's awesome.
And the other coaches,
How many went?
we had 10 there.
Okay.
My primary goal was to celebrate the coaches,
Yes.
to relax
Yes.
in our most intense month of the year, but it was also just to feel a unity
Absolutely.
and a camaraderie. And man, we left that trip just feeling so fired up about continuing to take Faster Way to the next level. And what I was most struck by is how good of coaches these gals actually are. Like
Yeah.
the diligence by which they coach, their conscientiousness to say, okay, we're modifying macros and we're customizing this and we're personalizing that.
Yes.
It really was inspiring.
I love that.
Yeah. So I had so much fun. We are going to be not treating, but essentially opening up another retreat weekend for some of our other top coaches who didn't quite make that trip.
What a great gift.
Yeah. The top 10, they get a free trip.
Yeah.
If you're not a top 10, you don't get a free trip, but maybe we'll say there's a little discount
I'll
to
tell
our
you what, the
typical VIP
invitation
retreat.
is the gift. I mean, just getting invited is
Yeah.
humongous. And I just
Yep.
can't imagine. How many nights were you there?
3 nights.
Oh, that's such a great bond. And again, that's what is one of the biggest components that makes our coach community so unique is that we all know each other. We all love each other. There's a sisterhood. There's a collective mission that we have.
100%.
And having that together allows us to really work as a team globally. It's
Definitely a sisterhood. And it was so cute because, we attract a certain caliber of professional and a certain type of person to, our coach certification. And we're having meals together, multiple meals together. The alcohol conversation wasn't a thing. The waiter would come around, a couple people got drinks, but it wasn't like we were sitting there talking about it, obsessing over it. We're just not big drinkers. We would wake up early. We woke up with the sunrise most days. We would work out.
Yeah.
We're fasting. We're just all so aligned on lifestyle and values. We weren't, overly glamming up for meals or anything like that. It was just such a great group, and we were aligned on, okay, we'd rather go to bed maybe a little earlier than you would normally on a girls' night out. We're not going to get
it's
drunk.
healthy and wholesome and still fun.
So
I think
fun.
that so many people put so much stock into the alcohol consumption or to the gluttony or to the sloth behavior, in which this kind of experience with people like us is all about enriching and getting better and coming back more fervently excited.
Yes, we were talking about how to expand and improve our businesses and our coaching. We were hiking together.
So fun.
It just was so
But
energizing.
wait a minute, Amanda. If I know you like I think I do, you made them do something scary.
I did. Of course. Yeah. So the one of my favorite things to do is to push people out of their comfort zone, because there is a part of your brain. It's not the amygdala. It's something else, a cortex. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's 2 of them in your brain. And if every day you wake up and you challenge yourself with something that you don't like to do. So that means if I every day I wake up and I say, okay, I'm going to cold plunge, or I'm going to do something that I hate to do, but I'm still going to do it, that area of your brain will grow. If you don't exercise it, if you stay in your comfort zone day after day after day after day, guess what? It shrinks. It shrinks. Real quick, what we decided to do for a little bit of a challenge was go to a high ropes course and do zip lines as well. Okay. So many of the coaches have not done high ropes before, or maybe they have and they were a little nervous to do it again. Yeah. And it was amazing to see them face their fears. One coach in particular, she had tried a high ropes in the past, only made it halfway through the first challenge. She did the entire course with us. She had someone who was kind of staying and supporting her a little bit. She got to the very final challenge, which is you climb up a platform and the only way down is to jump. And I heard the guide say to her, okay, I'm going to only tell you this. There's a secondary option before you climb up this platform. He's, kind of like, you could go this way if you want to, but once you climb up that platform, there's only one way down. And guess what? She climbed up that platform. She said, I'm going for it. I'm doing it. I want to challenge myself.
Wow.
She climbed up that platform. Took her a few minutes. Took her a little bit, of comforting and convincing.
Yeah.
She jumped off that platform. Oh my gosh. We were so proud of her. She was so proud of herself.
I love that.
It was really, really wonderful to see. And it was a high platform. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was like a little mini bungee jump. But that was really, really
It's
great.
crazy because, coaches, and again, the perception, I don't know how many of whoever's watching this, there's a perception that there's such a social media focus, which it's not. It's a place in which we can speak to our whole entire world. But the fear of social media for so many people is so huge. Really jump off this platform. Let's talk about getting scared.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
It was so fun. But yeah, I can't wait to see who's at the top 10 coach retreat next year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a shakeup. I think that, we got some people climbing up the ranks.
And you had some fresh faces this year, too.
We had some fresh faces. Yeah, we had many, many coaches in that top 10 who were above $1 million in revenue last year, or almost above $1 million, which even shocks me. We had one coach, she went 2 years ago, 300,000. Last year, almost $1 million.
Wow.
Incredible.
The other thing, last thing I'll say about this, from what I saw, you had a coach who's been there since 2017, maybe. And then you had the most recent coach who only got certified 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was a huge span.
Right.
It's not the same people just grinding through this success. So I love that too.
Me too. Okay, let's talk about my book.
Okay.
So I'm reading a book right now called The Deals That Made the World.
Okay.
And the premise of the book is, many times we think that the government controls so much of what we do, where in fact the government can only govern within the borders of the country.
Yes.
And many of the things that we do or ways that we live were actually created, negotiated by businessmen from countries all over the world. So I'll use an example. Many people don't know, but there is a light bulb at a firehouse in California. I believe it's close to San Fran, that has been lit. It has been on since 1930. Okay. When light bulbs were invented, when they were invented and created to shine forever. But businessmen from multiple countries around the world, China, Japan, Europe, the US, got together and determined that they were not going to allow a light bulb to stay lit for longer than a certain amount of time.
Interesting.
And anyone who would not agree with this or comply with this, they would shut down. So any company who said, no, we're going to create a light bulb that can shine forever, they would go after them, shut them down. It's planned obsolescence. So planned obsolescence is a term that many of you might have heard when it comes to, for example, an iPhone. Guess what?
Yeah.
There's planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
These things can be created to last forever, but they're not created to last forever, because then the company that created them wouldn't be getting money every 2 years.
Right.
They want a way, they want a path to get money every 2 years. So is this the right thing to do? Is it the wrong thing to do? Hard to say. With the light bulbs in particular, this was during the Depression.
So this is jobs.
Yeah,
right?
This is jobs.
Yeah.
This is money.
Yeah.
Is it the right thing to do? Is it the wrong thing to do? The deals that made the world are numerous, and it is intriguing, and it is, a bit of a moral issue. But one of the chapters that is really speaking to me is a chapter on food.
Interesting.
So I'm going to read just a couple excerpts, and I'll kind of set this up. So Owning Fat and Thin, the deal is the BMI index recalibrated by statistician Lewis Dublin at Metropolitan Life Insurance, is adopted by doctors and pharmacists across America. Okay, so the deal was that a statistician, not a doctor, not a health and wellness expert, a statistician, Lewis Dublin at Met Life Insurance, is adopted by doctors and pharmacists across America, aim to create a scientific measure for obesity, in so doing inventing a health panic years before a genuine obesity epidemic existed and a market for the diet industry. Okay, this is 1945.
Okay.
In 1945, this statistician needed to get a win at his job. He needed a win. So how did he get a win? He decided to take this concept of BMI that wasn't even very popular at this time. And he said, okay, I'm going to lower the threshold weight at which policyholders would be categorized as both overweight and obese so that we can raise premiums for tens of thousands of customers. Okay, so he literally just took
Changed
this
the
concept
formula.
of
Yeah.
BMI. He took a concept of BMI that was developed by 19th century Belgian statistician Adolphe Quetelet. I don't know how to say that. And he said, okay, because I need a win at my job, I'm going to now say the BMI for a 25-year-old is carried through until you're 95.
Oh my
The
gosh.
25-year-old BMI needs to now be the 45-year-old BMI and the 75-year-old BMI. So overnight, he shifted the chart and the numbers to convince housewives all over America that they were actually now overweight and obese.
Wow.
He just changed the chart.
Wow.
He just changed the chart. And so what happens? MetLife is able to immediately charge higher premiums.
It's working for them.
And these women all over the country start fearing that they're overweight.
Oh my
So what do they start doing? They start drinking baby formula to lose weight. So women now are starting to drink baby formula. Well, what does that create? It creates the whole concept of a diet drink.
Yeah.
Slim Fast,
Yeah,
anybody?
yeah.
Slim Fast,
Been there,
anybody?
been there, yes.
Around this same time, this is really, really interesting, there was research being done. This is, fast forward a few years. Research being done by someone by the last name of Keyes, Dr. Ansel Keyes. He had military men who he kept in chambers and only fed them 1,500 calories to see how they would function.
I heard about this before. Yeah.
He fed them only 1,500 calories a day, which, by the way, was 300 calories more than the average woman on a diet who was drinking baby formula or these weight loss drinks. And these men, these military men, started to fantasize about food.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of them went mad when they would let them up into the stadium. Kind of, they were keeping them in chambers below a stadium. They let them up. One of them chopped off 3 of his fingers. Another one bit somebody. Another one was eating grass. But the most intriguing thing about this, once he started feeding them more than 1,500 calories, getting them back up to that, 1,800, 2,000, 2,300, they gained weight faster.
Yes.
They got fat faster.
Yes.
And so we had all of this research that shows, okay, men in particular need more than 1,500 calories. That's not near enough for them to survive on. And if they live in a deficit for a period of time and then they do bump up on their calories, they get fat faster. And guess what? Instead of this being research that was now shared with the population so that we can be sure that we don't have any issues. You say, okay, we tried it, been there, done that. Let's make sure you guys don't fall into this. Instead of that, guess what? It created the diet industry. Businessmen said, great, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity. We're now going to create Slim Fast.
Sure.
We're going to create products to have women and men in a severe deficit.
Downregulate that metabolism.
Lose weight, damage the metabolism.
Absolutely.
They then start eating normal food.
And normal food was also evolving into fast food. It was also evolving into highly palatable food.
Exactly.
So it's like the perfect storm of these hungry people getting satisfied by processed food. I didn't even read your book. Am I on the right track?
100%.
Gross.
Yes. Yes. That's the whole chapter is about that. It's about the Weight Watchers model. It's about putting sugar into obesity. It's about how sugar is such a huge aspect of this entire, but you guys, we got to follow the money.
Oh yeah.
You have to follow the money. This research was done. So researchers and physicians could have said to the population, here's the deal. You need to stay above 1,500 calories, which is starvation mode. Because otherwise, if you have a severe deficit for a long period of time and you lose weight and then you start eating normal again, you are going to gain weight faster.
Right.
So every time you diet and then start eating normal again, you're going to get fat faster.
And the last thing that they were doing was lifting weights.
Oh,
that was such
absolutely.
not taboo, but it was just, there was a specific population that was doing that. That was not mainstream. So you couldn't combat that with any kind of activity.
There's other researchers mentioned in this book who did research and say, okay, it's not fat, it's sugar that's causing the obesity epidemic. It's not this, it's that. And what happens is then it'll say there was a huge lobby from the industry, particularly from the sugar industry, against such and so's research. Time and time again, when somebody comes out, and it's interesting because a lot of these researchers were completely banned. Wow. They were completely and utterly shut down.
Canceled.
They were canceled.
Yeah.
It's the former version of canceled. Yeah.
Wow.
They were completely and utterly canceled because the food industry is in bed with the government. They have so much power. But it's not just the U.S. government. It's across the world.
Oh, sure, because you got to look for the sources for all these things as well.
As low-fat took grip, so did obesity in the 1980s. By the mid-1980s, doctors were being visited by larger patients than any had ever seen before. The food industry began stressing that individuals must be responsible for their own calorie consumption, but even those who exercised and ate low-fat products were gaining weight. The diet industry wants people to think that it's your own non-compliance that is creating this failure or causing you to fail. And I have to say, Lee, I have so many colleagues who are wonderful, but I have spoken with so many competitors who are not. Mm-hmm. We have a very fast-growing company in the nutrition and fitness category. So, of course, I've gotten calls from all the big companies in the marketplace.
What are you doing? Yeah.
All the big companies. Yeah. What are you doing? How can we partner? And I always take a call because I want to talk to the CEO or the private equity group who owns these different companies and just kind of feel them out a little bit. What are you guys doing? What can I learn from you? And I distinctly remember, I'm not going to call out the name of the company, but every single person listening knows this company name. I distinctly remember I met with the CEO and one of the private equity guys with a popular weight loss system. And they said to me, this is the question. We have a question. How do you convince your clients that their non-compliance is what causes them to gain weight, which is why they should stay in your program? And I said, respectfully, can I ask you a question? And they said, yeah. I go, do you think your thing actually works? Well, they literally go, there's some warts about our products. It doesn't necessarily. I go, you have no integrity. I go, guess what? My thing works. I go, your thing sucks. I'm like, literally, because these are the type of guys talking to me.
Right. You got to be at the table with them.
They're literally, how do you convince your clients? Because they're going, 80% of our revenue is people who we've convinced it's their fault, their non-compliance, that they're failing and that they need to rebuy.
But you saying that right now, it just re-emphasizes how you have flipped everything upside down. This is the exercise less, eat more, progress over perfection. You can't fail unless you don't care.
Yeah.
Like you're not convincing that's so opposite.
Yeah.
It's so opposite.
The competitors who I talk to, these big companies who are owned by private equity, owned by whoever, and only care about the bottom line, they don't have integrity. And, we are genuinely trying to scale a company in a space that lacks integrity and is ripe for disruption. Mm-hmm. Can we get to that $1 billion valuation, which just simply for us means impact? Mm-hmm. Impact is the currency of our success without tricks. I don't know. I mean, to be determined. I hope so. Yeah. I hope that a company that is led by a CEO who has integrity can get to that big valuation and say, we are going to change the landscape and you don't have to be a shifty, corrupt company and team in order to grow and scale. But it's like this whole book, it's sneakiness, it's tricks, it's manipulation, it's persuasion, and it's a lack of integrity.
Wow.
It's a big lack of integrity.
That's so interesting because our ASPE study was such a powerful just demonstration of the value of what we do. How can you change your body composition? It'd be really fun to have another study one day about the value of community and trust. Because the community and trust is what allows these women and men to hold hands and go, okay, I'm stepping into a place in which is the exact opposite that the deals that made the world have proposed because their parents were raising them too. And that community and trust is something I think that really propels people forward.
Yeah.
And that is, again, a disruptor.
I could go on and on about this stuff
and
for
on and
hours.
on and on.
Yes. We do have a certification information event
Yes.
taking place today.
It's amazing.
We only open enrollment a few times per year. It really is such a wonderful certification and opportunity. So Lee Bergen herself is the director of certification and education.
Well, it's important too to remember that people are coming in so that they can learn more. Again, fighting your book.
Yes, yes. So if you would like any information on the certification, I encourage you to join that information event today. We're going to be live all day long on video.
Yep.
Our top coaches are going to be speaking as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this Coach Confessional.
Yay, good
We'll
stuff.
see you soon. Bye.
Bye.